And we got fresh Mel Kiper mock draft. And are you ready for his pick, Skater?
I am.
The pick is in. At number 29, the Detroit Lions select Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas. Mel writes, Detroit GM Brad Holmes had a tremendous 23 draft, which featured impact contributions from Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell. Can he do it again? Looking at this Lions roster, there aren't many holes to fill. I like that sentence. But he writes, I can make a case for them taking an interior offensive lineman, an edge rusher, or a corner, but receiver also stands out, particularly when one who could run vertical routes and play on the other side of Jamison Williams. Mitchell could be a fit at 6 feet 2 inches tall. He ran a 4.3 440 at the combine, showing off impressive physical tools. He had 11 touchdowns last season. You might consider this a luxury pick, but the roster's so talented, the Lions can afford to take Mitchell. I can't stand this pick.
Wow. Tell us more.
Okay, so I watched Texas play this year. This guy does not seem like a fit to me, and he doesn't seem so talented, so unbelievably talented that I would say it's okay that he's not a fit. I don't know that I saw one player in watching from afar, to be fair, that exhibited worse body language and looked like a diva wide receiver, to me, more than Adonai Mitchell did. And I don't know. I mean, if you're getting the next Jerry Rice or a player that's that talented, that's one thing.
That's really raising the bar high.
I know, but why? I wouldn't take a chance when there are other players. You mentioned Keon Coleman at 29. I would rather have Keon Coleman over him, who seems every bit as talented, but I didn't see, complaining to his quarterback when the ball was thrown over his head or when he didn't get a pass. Xavier Legette, who's got great size. And if they go wide receiver at 29, he'd probably be, of the players that are often there, the number one player in that bucket. I do not like the Adonai Mitchell pick. Now, if they evaluate, if I've got him wrong, okay, which is possible, because TV copy can be misleading. But if I've got that one wrong, or he is that talented that you take the chance, so be it. What do you make of this pick?
Well, I'm not thrilled with taking a wide receiver in the first round. If they feel the need, I guess they feel the need. But if they're going to take one, I feel like they think that this is a can't-miss thing. Like, we had him high in a draft, but we had him as a top 15 player, and he was available to us. That's why they took him. And, look, he's got great speed, ran a 4.34 at the combine. Vertical leap was nearly 40 inches straight up in the air. He's 6'2". He's got good size. So the measurables are there, and he was productive. And I understand what you would hold against him is what you saw that looked like he was doing some pouting and some diva-like behavior. I would imagine that he's a guy that the Lions have talked to or would talk to. If they're going to draft him, they have to have talked to him and find out what kind of guy he is. If Brad Holmes makes that selection, are you uneasy about it? I mean, I understand with Mel doing it, you're like, well, yeah. What does Mel know? He's not talking to these guys. He doesn't know what Brad Holmes wants to do.
Well, if they actually do make this selection, then that will tell me, because I don't see them bending from their philosophy. There's very little evidence that they are going to do anything but be 100% beholden to their philosophy. And with that in mind, that will tell me they did their homework on him. Because it's funny. I talked about taking a Texas teammate, Tavondre Sweat, in the third round if they do their homework. He made a massive off-the-field mistake at a terrible time to do it. So now if you told me Tavondre Sweat in the first round, I probably wouldn't like that either. If you told me Adonai Mitchell in the third round, I'm a Legette fan there. I'm a Coleman fan there. But I don't love this pick. Kang, how do you feel about it?
I'm at a point where, it is trust Brad Holmes. And I don't know. So you answer my question. My first question is going to be, is it the player or is it the position? Because for me, at this point, it doesn't even matter. They're going to do their due diligence on character. And not everyone can be a Detroit Lion, as Brad Holmes says. Position doesn't bother me, Gator. They do. If you want to make a case for a hole, I think it is receiver, to be honest with you. With the exit of Josh Reynolds, I love JMO. I know you do too. They still need that other receiver opposite, to fill out with St. Brown, and even if JMO steps up. So I see the position. The player, I don't mind. The attitude, I trust Brad Holmes. They will do their work on that stuff because it seems like they don't take any. They're not no nonsense. You got to love the game. You got to love your teammates. And so it is almost that he's done such a good job for the most part filling needs in the offseason that pick the best player available, and that's what they've been doing.
248-539-9797. All right, the pick is in the second round. And at 61, Mel Kiper has a Detroit Lions selecting Adisa Isaac, edge rusher, Penn State. And he writes, Isaac was overshadowed by Chop Robinson, but he actually outproduced his teammate last season, racking up 7.5 sacks. He's not as explosive as Robinson, but he's a well-rounded defender who's got impressive get-off at the snap. At 247 pounds, he can play the edge in a rotation in Detroit, which needs to get more out of the pass rushers not named Aiden Hutchinson. How do you feel about this pick?
Okay. Look, it's the end of the second round. All the best edge rushers are going to go in the first round, obviously. So, he's decent size. I don't know. It seems a little underwhelming. Did have 16 tackles for loss last year, 7.5 sacks. And that was an improvement over the previous year where he had 11 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. So Mel has the 2 picks Mel has are positions that I think the Lions have to look at in the draft, but they're positions that the 3 of us have not taken in our mock of this with this situation. We all took an offensive lineman and a defensive back.
Yep.
So I'd be underwhelmed if this was what they did.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked a little bit about how I want to see the Brad Holmes plan come to fruition, and I'm almost